All right, so this is gonna be a long one. So I was reading this article on how Indians are being held up as a model minority, and how this isn't helping the Black Lives Matter movement. It's on the front page of CNN, by the way, as of today. So um, this kind of strung a chord with me. Let me just summarize this article from two excerpts or three excerpts. Sorry. Um, So first of all, it starts out by saying many British media reports have pointed to the Indian success in the country, in this case the UK, that British Indian graduates in England and Wales on average earn more than most other ethnic minority groups, even slightly more than the white majority. They achieve better results in primary and high school than the white majority, and they're even arrested less often than white people. And then it goes on to say Home Minister Priti Patel, who has Indian origins, dismissed black opposition MP who was complaining that the ruling Conservative Party, of which Priti Patel is part of, was not taking structural racism seriously. And then Patel's response to this was defensive and aggressive, arguing she too had suffered racism, so will not take lectures on the issue. It was her way of saying that she had been a victim of racism and she could not possibly be ignorant of the problems black British people face. Now she's wrong. I don't agree with Preeti Patel at all. Like I'm pretty sure uh, she is pretty ignorant. But moving on, the article finishes off by saying by actually quoting some activist that says, I see black people raising posters, I see white people raising posters, but I see very few brown people engaging in these conversations or protesting or donating or speaking out. I don't think many even recognize their privilege, their brown privilege, right? So so now I want to focus on why it is that brown people are pretty silent on this issue. Not that I agree with their silence, but um, here's my take. So I think that the biggest problem lies with internalizing racism so much that many of us somehow believe that white people are kind of the founders of Western society and you just accept their systems in place, right? Like lightning creams are one aspect of it, and its abuse in the Bollywood industry that's well known. Or even in our Gen Z kind of thing, where why is it that when a brown guy gets with a white girl, it's seen as, oh, my man made it. Like my man Ajit Pai, he made it. He got a white wife, right? Why is that? But the overarching theme is that brown people have a general mentality of just accepting the current system and just getting good at beating it rather than having a general mentality. Sorry, the overarching theme is that brown people have a general mentality of just accepting the current system and getting good at beating it rather than trying to change the system, right? So if you're like a gamer, it's like just get good at the current meta. If Zoe's good, pick her, spam her. Don't try to innovate. Don't try to uh, find new ways of doing things, kind of like that. So just focus on school, just focus on landing internships, get good grades, pursue a career that's a known good high paying path. Don't take risks right here at home. My mom, she makes me shave my beard and put on face whitening powder, so I look fair. I look more white, right? So I have less chance of getting randomly selected at the airport instead of trying to question why racial profiling is even okay at an airport in true Indian fashion. She's gonna find that loophole, right? By the way, I've been randomly selected quite a few times whenever I transited to the USA. Especially when I have my beard on. Actually, when I don't have a beard on, it's pretty fine. I'm pretty good. So to like sum it up, this article is making the assumption that because we're being quiet, we're being complicit. We're kind of enabling this whole systemic racism thing. To a degree, you could, but the problem I take with this is the way the article presents it. Right. First of all, the same logic was used in the French Revolution, where if you're not with us in overthrowing the government, you're against us, and you were just beheaded, right? But more than that, it's just the fact that CNN wants to perpetuate this sort of thing where, um, like, oh, look at these Indian people, they're doing even better than white people, and they're being silent. Like, That's a racist view in and of itself. If you want to engage an ethnic group, you don't just paint a picture like you're doing amazing. You have the highest income in UK, in the US, in Canada, like even better than white people. Why you're not speaking up? You have so much privilege. Like we also face our own racism problems in the West. So to call us out in that way it just feels very distasteful. It just rubs the wrong way. So like if you look at TV shows, we're not seen as the main character most often, especially like on a westernized TV show. We're that shy kid, that nerdy 7-Eleven kid, right? When you think of a high school jock in a high school drama, it's going to be not a brown kid. That I can tell you. So it's there even for us, and just like some form of racism, I'm sure, like just pretty much every ethnic minority faces some sort of racism. Just because we're silent doesn't mean we don't support the fight, and I just wanted to put that out there. Thanks.